my name is Okelo Ronald Onen. I work with Ministry of Tourism and Wildlife. I'm a guide at Fort Patiko. My position here is a site attendant. I've started working here in 2014. 2014, that's the year I was employed by Ministry of Tourism. My work here is to guide my visitors and also guide them a guided tour. I worked here as a guide to welcome the visitors. Now, when you're in Fort Patiko, this is a rich site. It was named because one of the chiefs, because for us in Acholi, we don't have the title Kabaka or the Omukama. For us here, we call our cultural leader Ruot. Ruot is R-W-O-T, and the name of our Ruot was called Atiko. When we talk of Patiko, it takes us back to Luo migration. Because when Labo and Gipiri were separating the other side of Bugungu, it's not that everyone knows what brought these people, what brought in the separation of these two people. They were real brothers, but there's other people also who follow them, but there's others who decided to go back because they don't know where to take the site. And these are the great people of Patiko, because a whale and Atiko brought their people to this land. And this was a jungle, no one was here. When Atiko reached here, he settled under the Mount Ajulu, where the palace used to be. And the way they do that things, the Patiko people, in general we call ourselves Acholi, but the way they marry, the way they dance is different from other people. That's why they believe they're so brave, they're so proud of themselves. Because when somebody calls you that I come from Patiko, they feel like they want to fly, they feel so proud. Because they say they're the great-grandchildren of Abraham Hera. They believe they're the grandchildren of Abraham Hera, they're so proud. That's why when somebody said, why don't you speak like somebody who comes from Patiko? It's not the real speaking. It's not the real eating. But for them, the people of Patiko talk in parables. In other words, they say they talk behind talks. They take you not to understand them easily. They talk so that you can take something, you take them slowly, slowly. That's why even musicians can sing about them. The Patiko people can describe you through singing. That's why our great man, our brother from Pachua clan, I belong to Pogunyi clan. The royal palace is called Kal. Kal is the royal family. That's why Okot Pabitek wrote a book called Song of Lawino. Lakta. Lak is in our language, but it's teeth. When somebody smiles with you, you see the person have a bright teeth, but you don't know what is happening. You don't know what is inside the person. That's why Patiko describe themselves like that. And that's why for us here, the way we do our thing, we respect our culture. And even they have their own God. The Patiko people have their own God. And the god of Patiko is called Baka. Baka is B-A-K-A. That's the name of the god of Patiko. They believe in their God. It's not that they're witchcraft. They're born-again people. They're born-again people because they're the first people here who welcome the Bible at Musalaba at Keo Church. That means they're not witchcraft, but they believe in their God. When things are not right, if because they need enough rain, they need rain, they have to please their God. They have to cook food because sometimes they believe their God is hungry, needs something to eat. And they pick people who are so humble, people who are elderly to go and perform the cooking. And also they pick elderly people to do it because they believe that place is a holy ground. And when they finish cooking, the rain have to start beating them from where they finish cooking from. And they have to celebrate the rain. That's how they used to celebrate their rain. And also, that's how Patiko used to take their life. That's why when the Khartoumers, the Arab slavers from Sudan, when they were hunting elephants, they managed to reach this land and they were in need of ivory. And the only term of the trade was barter system of trade, where they exchange goods for good. And again, was a silent trade because they don't have the language to mediate these people. They don't have language to mediate these people. That's what was done. You enter from the gate, you come and place the ivory next to what you want to go with. And for the Arabs who are coming in with beads, earrings, necklaces, and mirror. And the Africans from here, the people were bringing in ivory. For 3 years, between 1850 up to 1853 was a normal trade. That's what the Arabs were doing. Later on, when the ivory got scarce because the elephants started running away from this side, they now started raiding people forcefully, bringing them to become prisoners. And for you to come in here, they go and raid you like the rebel, bringing them into the prison. Women prison, the prison rock. The kitchen rock was for men. If you're a man, that was your prison. And afterward, they screened them. They need beautiful girls, and some boys were taken and strong ones. If you are weak, you are ugly and disabled, what they do, they execute you. Others were taken to face guns. The firing squad were shooting people with guns. All this was done because they want to keep the information within the site. The people picked from this side, they were moved using the caravan route to Gondokoro in Sudan. And from that side, they used other means to cross the sea to Middle East to Turkey. And again, also from that side, men were castrated, they castrate men. It led to migration of people from this side. Other people move away from here. There's one of our road who decided, it's called Roromoria. Decided to move with other people to the eastern direction. He was telling people behind that they want to find out where the sun is coming from, but it was running away the Arabs. And there are the great people in our history from this land, the people who are moving naked in Ethiopia, the Bushmen that side. They belong from this land. Now the Savior came in. That was the Samuel White Baker. The first trip of Samuel Baker was the exploration mission. He wants to find out the source of the Nile. He wants to find out where the almighty Nile of Uganda started from. Because that was the agreement put by the Royal Society of England, and the Egyptian government to control the level of the Nile, to control the source of the Nile. That's why Baker was sent to come in 1860 to find out the source of the Nile, where the Nile started from. 1862, Baker managed to meet Speke at Gondokoro. Because Speke, for them, they used the eastern direction when they were coming in here. And also when they met Baker, they were discussing with Baker that for us, we have already discovered, we have seen the source of the Nile. But we cannot stop you not to explore the interior. That's why for us Ugandans, when I'm teaching my people, the children, school children here, I know we are teaching the historians. We love the initiative the government is bringing in. His Excellency, the President of Uganda, is advocating for domestic tourism and also is promoting to ask people where were the natives around the source. That means we Ugandans should have our own history about our country. The people in school, you have to promote, you have to write books. And that's where Baker went to Bunyoro, and he was taken by Omukama Bunyoro to see the falls, the beautiful falls, and he gave the name of the president who sent him to Africa. He was called Sir Roderick Maxon. That's why Baker named the other falls, Mashishon, the Maxon Falls. And he went ahead to confirm Albert, because Albert at that time was a consort of Queen Victoria. All lakes in Uganda bear British name, George Edward Albert, Victoria. That's what Baker did on his first trip to Africa. On his way, when he was going back, he passed through this land because of the scouting work he was doing. The challenge was the language. He cannot speak with our cultural leader here, but he looked at these people. He went back to England. He reported to the people who sent him that in East Africa there's a slave point. It was the same point, same here, even in Europe they were talking about slavery in that territory. That's why Baker was given another honor to come back as the general of Equatorial Province. Since he was writing a lot about Uganda, about Africa, Beka was given troops from Egypt to come back to fight the Arab slavers who were here, the Khartoum. Now Beka started his movement, solved the same problem from Bulgaria, where he got a white lady in Bulgaria. And that lady was called Barbara. Because of the color, Beka bid for the lady. And Beka moved with this lady up to Egypt, and he was supported with Egyptian troops. He passed through Sudan. He got the warriors from Sudan. 1872 late in the evening, Beka managed to fight these people. He captured this place from the Arabs. That's why we call it Beka's fort. He fortified the place to become a military base by putting soldiers. But all these structures was constructed already by the Arabs with mud. He stayed here for 4 years. He left this site under the leadership of one of the Nubian community called Abu Dala. Instead of protecting this site, that was another war with the Patiko people. Abu Dala started sleeping people's wives. Even he went ahead of impregnating one of the chief's wife called Abedi. That was another problem. And Ruot of Pogwenye also was abducted from this side, taken to Lemule, and was beheaded that side because of that incident, because they killed the Nubian leader. That was another problem with the people of this place. Now, Beka moved from this side again to go and greet that friend of his. That was the Omukama Bunyoro. And when Beka went to Bunyoro, Beka faced also fight from Kabalega. He lost a lot of fight men from that side. He came back to pick the wife from here, Barbara. But also the people here of Patiko, it was that first time to see the first white woman. That's why they compare that lady, very beautiful like the moon at night. And where we are is called a Nyadwe village. In our language, they call that white lady a Nyadwe. That's why for us here, even young children, they don't fear white people. Because when they see white people, they say, Mono, they want to be very close to that person. Because it's that ins that now they have already. Because the white man was the savior of these people. That's what Beka did to this side. Another person succeeded Beka from this side. He was called Gordon. He was a colonel. He wants to take the side, but he went to Sudan. He was killed from that fight. That's why we have the other mountain called Gordon Mountain. We talk of Emi Pasha. Pasha also passed through this land. He went to the other side of the West Nile. There's a small fort also called Wadilai. It's also the other side, but for him, he was concentrating alongside Congo province. Now, Ugandan government in 1972, the Gazette of this side became historical monument by putting a lot of policies to this site, preserving the site with cement. This cement you see on the structures, like for the same store, the millet store and the armory, was protected with cement to protect its farm. Now, Ministry of Tourism and Wildlife, through the NRF government, they have recruited us to work here. Like some of us, like me, when I told you I started working here in 2014, now is around, I volunteer again, even for 3 years. Now in government, I've worked for 16 years. Our work here, one, to preserve the site. We have to market, and also we are doing school outreach. We go to schools. We go to school, taking the tourism site to the children to the school. We take them virtual, even we talk about different sites.
My name is Alex Taremo. I work with the Graduate School of Media and Communications at the Kakani University. Right now we're at Fort Patiko, and we have over 40 journalists who are covering conservation, wildlife, and tourism especially. We're here because last 2 days we've been training them on why they're important in promoting destination Uganda.
Let's find a way of packaging ourselves better, because we all care about the image of this country. And if the media is not brought along, if we are not in alignment with you, then we are not telling the truth. We are telling lies. So majorly that is why we are here.
We need to find ways to just going past telling a problem and showing solutions that are happening to remedy those problems. So now even someone who is elsewhere who reads your story can try and use the solution that you have used in their own area to solve the same problem that way.
One story like this, written well, can have a significant impact beyond what you may imagine on a day-to-day affair.
Positioning, how you communicate, how you agree with your government helps.
You can create your own community. So the digital bit should also be part of you building your own digital community. Because that's how you sell your brand, you sell yourself.
Surprisingly, if we come this side, it's us who post about Rakaraka. Today we have been here. What have you posted about this event? So if you're this side, promote your side. It will cost nothing.
We taught them on why they need to be positive about our coverage, how they need to avoid negative connotations, how they need to avoid falling in stereotypes of international media, and how to cover their communities better. And most importantly, to go beyond just wildlife and focusing on community development. There's no animal here, it's just people. There's history here, there's culture here. Why it's important is most Ugandans, most of you who are young, have taken no effort in understanding the history of your country. You've left it to guys who are older than you, and they're leaving the country to you. It does nothing as a favor to you not to know why it's important to understand the history of your country, the heritage of your country, where we come from, and most importantly, where we are going. As the adage goes, if you know where you're coming from, you don't know where you're going. We're trying to promote wildlife beyond the big five. In Uganda, we can brag about pretty much anything. We can brag about the big five, we can brag about having the best wildlife, bird life in East Africa or Africa. We can brag about having the best gorilla population in the entire world. We can brag about so many things. The thing we can't brag about at the moment now is how much of our local population appreciates that statistic and makes an effort to touch their pocket and goes to their next game park to pay for their entrance fee. Everyone in the country thinks tourism is about some white tourist, and that's not it. We're trying to make sure that wherever you're next to, Katonga, Queen Elizabeth, Mugahinga, Bwindi, Chivari, Queen Elizabeth, all the way to Kampala, and front to Kotido, you understand that you have opportunities to take your wife, your honeymoon, your wedding, all these things to the next destination to you. And right now, you're not doing it. You're going to Mombasa, you're going to Zanzibar, you're going to Diani, you're going to Dubai. Why are you doing that? That's why we have the best journalists in the country telling this story, and we're making sure that you know about it.
My name is David Emuk. I'm a staff of Uganda Tourism Board. It's my first time to step my foot in Fort Patiko in Gulu, and it is really a thrilling experience. I'm glad that I am here. This place is in the books of history of Uganda. Dates back in the times of colonialism. We had the Arabs camp here, we had Europeans camp here, and it's one of the heritage sites that we have in the country. basically in Northern Uganda, and it's a tourist attraction site. We have a lot of history in this place. We have the ancient ruins behind here of slave trade set up by the Europeans and Arabs back then in 18 and 1900s. And it is one of the places that we need to preserve as a country that fetches us local revenue. As you know, the tourism sector is one of the potentials for Uganda's revenue. And this place, I welcome everybody to always take time and come and explore Northern Uganda and basically Patiko as one of those heritage sites we have.
Hello everyone, I'm Desire Limo-chan. I work with Uganda Radio Network and Radio Patches as a freelance news reporter in Gulu City. I also cover Acholi and sometimes I go northern region. I'm very grateful that Ministry of Tourism brought for us this training. The past 2 days we were in for class sessions where we learned our role as the media in reporting tourism news or tourism stories, what we can do and what we cannot do, or what we should do to promote the brand and what we do that breaks the brand. And as a journalist, I feel like positive reporting is the most relevant thing right now. Everyone else has talked about problems, and then we need the solutions to also come up to encourage people. Maybe the tourists outside, the foreigners, and the ones around, or the community tourists. Being in Acholi, I'd never been to Aru Falls, I'd never been to Fort Patiko, but today I had the privilege to go and meet the people around there and engage with them. That is a very great thing that the ministry has done. As for the relevance of the training, it's going to help me to write as a journalist who is just 1 year in the field with only that small experience of writing community stories. I feel this has helped a lot. It's going to help a lot also as I'm going to be writing stories of tourism or anything about wildlife, just to promote the brand of tourism in Uganda. It has given me knowledge. I had not known that there's a lot actually to cover, but right now I think I have something to craft and write through the pitch writing that was taught to us by Mr. Alex Taremwa. I'll do this in practice.